Welcome. Welcome. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Just kind of waiting as more people continue to join the live. Awesome. Well, I think we can just get started. My name is Natalie, and I'm the content manager at Re-Inc. Today I'll be joined by Camesha Jones, who is the founder of Sista Afia, just for a really insightful conversation about their story and their mission. And so to kind of just help to frame this conversation, I wanted to talk about some of the themes from our current collection, Popsicle. And Popsicle, as some of you may be familiar with by now, is truly an exploration of freedom in all of its dimensions. So we explore what it means to be free to be young. With the Refresh Shop, we're asking what it means to be free to be well. And soon we'll be asking what it means to be free to be you and to be powerful. And so it really is a celebration of freedom. But I think it's also a question. And I think that we're always asking, what does it mean to actually be free? And what does freedom look like in different spaces? And who gets to be free? And so with each drop, we're just really humbled and honored to be joined by different leaders of these grassroots organizations who are so dedicated to just creating this freedom. And so just before I bring Camesha on, I just wanted to intro some of her incredible experience and work up to this point. And so Camesha is a radical social worker, a social entrepreneur, and a community wellness advocate. And so combining some of her just professional and personal experiences, Camesha founded Sista Afia with the intent to help Black women experiencing mental health challenges to get the information, the community support, and resource connection that is so necessary to be mentally well. And so without further ado, I will just add Camesha onto the live. Let's see. It's connecting. Hi, Camesha.
Hi, Natalie. How are you?
I'm good. It's so great to see you.
Good to see you too.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm
Yeah,
doing just gonna adjust this.
of course.
Okay.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today on live.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, we just love to hear more about, I think, kind of the mission of Sista Afia, then also just your story in founding your organization.
Okay, great. So, Sister Afia was founded in 2017 with the purpose of providing low-cost mental wellness services, but from a community support standpoint. And why that's really important is because when I was going through my own recovery with my mental health, when I was going out into community to find other Black women or to find, support groups and healing spaces, I didn't really see anything out there. And I have the lived experience of actually living with a mental health condition. And then I also am a clinical social worker as well. So both are kind of happening at the same time. And so I decided to do something about it. And I created Sista Afia to provide a myriad of different community mental wellness services that center young Black women. So we really focus on young adults is because young adults experience the height of their mental health crises in their young adult years. So by the time somebody turns 25, they've experienced 75% of people who have a mental health condition would have experienced a crisis. And then also with Black women are really on fire about mental wellness right now. And so Black women are also huge influencers and have a lot of power in the community. So we believe that if we can reach one, young adults, second, Black women, and in that kind of vulnerable age group, we can help to change the trajectory of their lives. But even in addition to that, to be able to have them to spread mental wellness within their communities. So that's how Sista Afia came to be. We offer individual therapy, group therapy, social events, wellness experiences. We've done conferences, expos, all with the idea of providing community support to Black women at an affordable cost.
Yeah. And just this work, I mean, it's so critical, and especially right now, I feel like as we're facing just so many novel challenges and just rapidly evolving contexts. And so actually on the Sista Afia website, I noticed just like the amazing videos that you all have that kind of showcase some of those wellness experiences. And I've even seen like the yoga sessions and coloring therapy and all of these different like modes of wellness. And I can just imagine that being in those spaces physically is just so powerful. And you know, right now with the pandemic and having to just socially distance and with just social uprising in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, just how does this summer, I guess, feel different from prior ones?
So being in Chicago, summer can be a beautiful time, but also a difficult time for a variety of reasons. So we're usually used to having people who come to us for support who might have maybe lost somebody to gun violence, right? But with this summer, we have COVID-19, we have racial injustice, racial unrest, and we have the regular what happens in Chicago that shouldn't be regular at all. So more people, I think, this summer are realizing the value of mental health. I think for a long time, people in the mental health field have like been undervalued, have been underappreciated. A lot of times in like city budgets, they'll put one little line item for mental health services. And so there's just been a lack of investment in it. But I think with all these different things happening in the country, more people are starting to reach out for mental health services, and more people are aware that it's something that's necessary for your overall well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had a lot of people reach out, a lot of new people engage with us that we hadn't had before. And I think people are really struggling right now. I know like a couple of clients that we see lost their jobs, right? And so how does that economic instability, how does that impact your mental health? Or people have actually lost people to COVID-19 or have been on the front lines of these movement protests. So all of those things show up in the therapy office. And so we've been providing the individual therapy to folks. Starting next month, we'll be offering free therapy to people who've been impacted by COVID-19 and racial injustice and just economic stressors. And then also we've been doing a lot of groups and workshops. So I encourage people to go to our page. We have pretty much almost a workshop going on every single week that people can be engaged in. So that's another way that we are showing up for people during this time because things are so different.
Yeah. I mean, this time definitely presents so many challenges, but it also, I guess, just presents different opportunities and ways to kind of engage with wellness. And just coming back, I guess, to this idea of then freedom. In a quote, you say to be free means to be living and breathing the vision that you have for your life. And I just really connected with that. And I just expanding, I guess, on this idea. What does it mean to Sista Afia to be free to be well?
Mm-hmm. So at Sista Afia, it means when I say, it means free to be well means the freedom to show up as I am, as who I am, in all of my glory and all of my challenges. It means to be able to be a priority. I think at Sista Afia, we encounter so many Black women who are felt like they're not a priority, you know, either in their communities or in their families. And so I think freedom also means that I'm a priority, that I'm valued, that I'm worthy. And then freedom also means that when we take care of our mental wellness, if you think about it, your brain is one of the most important parts of your body. And without it, your body can go dead, right? So even if we think about mental well-being, like having optimal mental wellness actually energizes every part of you. And so we see the mind as being literally like the gateway to healing, the gateway to freedom, because, you know, once you have a healthy mind and a healthy mental and emotional health, you're able to really live out that vision that I talked about that you have for yourself.
Yeah. And just with the freedom that comes with wellness and just optimal mental like well-being, and with the ability to also access wellness in mind, just what's your hopes for Sister Afia, and kind of your vision for the future, and what keeps you hopeful, and what makes you just believe that it's possible?
Mm-hmm. So my hope for Sister Afia is to continue to make a positive impact in our community. We're very community based here in Chicago. And so I'll talk about the Chicago community, then the like world and international community. So the Chicago community as being a place that anybody can come to for mental wellness services and to have a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the top priorities. One, to be able to fill in the gap of affordable mental health services. So what we found is we are one of the few social enterprises that offer sliding scale and low cost mental wellness services for a large amount of people. So
Mm-hmm.
what you usually see in private practice and in mental health is they'll give all of the slots to people who have private insurance who can pay out of pocket, and they'll give a little bit to people who have like who are lower income or who can't afford 150 per session, right? So being a top provider of mental wellness services and removing that barrier of cost for people. And then also to be creative. We're a very creative and innovative team. We're always trying new things to engage people. And so I would love, our vision is also to be an innovator in mental wellness care for young adults and young Black women. So just to give an example, Latanya, who's one of our therapists, she created a book club and therapy group, right? Because book clubs historically have been of importance in the African American community, especially with Black women. And then you bring therapy together, bam, right? And then we also had Liberate, Amy, one of our group therapists, she facilitated that. And we used Black film to talk about generational trauma. So that's the type of lens that we have as far as innovation. So those are some of the goals that we have for Chicago, just to be a place in Chicago that people are proud of, that people can go to for support, and that people are able to heal, right? That's the most important part. For our global community, now that we have a global community, before we, a month or a month and a half ago, a lot of people didn't even know we existed. And so now we have a new family, a new community. And so being able to continually engage people from all over the country and all over the world. So we've moved all of our programming online. So as long as you have an internet connection, you're able to engage with us. And so continuing to think of ways that we can still engage our global community through online support and online workshops and groups. And then just to really, I think most importantly is to continue to advocate for the need of mental wellness services, especially in the Black community. I would love to see Sister Afia to be able to go to the federal government or to go to, some of these other decision makers being like, hey, you need to prioritize these services for this community because of the things that we've endured, whether it's racism, whether it's gender-based violence, whether it's economic violence, police violence, all these things. Like we experience more psychological distress, statistically 20% more than white folks. So it has to be a priority. Like when we say Black Lives Matter, Black mental health matters too, and it's a part of that. So those are kind of like the visions that myself and my team have for Sister Afia at this point.
That's so incredible. I mean, just your ability to innovate and to keep pushing the boundaries. It's just it's incredible, and it's just so necessary right now. And I guess just for myself and our community, just how can we get involved and just help to support kind of this vision and these different initiatives, and engage with your community?
So one, I think just sharing to as many people that we exist, that we are a resource.
Mhm.
Even on our website, we have literally over 35 different self-help topics that people can use as like resources, and it doesn't matter whether you're Black or not, right? So like just people knowing that, one, like letting people know that we exist and sharing us with people in their community. That's number one. Number two, engaging with us. So if you have shared, maybe engaging with us, coming out to one of our events that we have. I'm saying coming out like we're outside, but coming into the Zoom room of, you know, any events that we have. Of course, contributing by purchasing a piece of clothing from the Popsicle Drop. Thanks so much to you all at Re-Inc for being able to give a part of your proceeds to Sister Afia. We really appreciate that. And then also, we do have an online campaign for sustainable mental wellness. So if people click the link in our bio or go to our website, people can, you know, give in whatever way that they'd like to there. Um, yeah, so I think really sharing is the biggest thing. And then if you feel led to engage, engage. And then if you want to financially contribute, then you can also do that too.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for just sharing these different ideas and resources and ways that we can all just continue to engage with Sister Afia. And just thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us and come on to Instagram Live. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. No problem. It was fun. And thank you all who are on the IG Live right now watching. I appreciate your attention. I know sometimes we pop in and pop out of IG Live. So thank you, everybody, for listening to what we have in store for Sisafia, what we're doing. And like I said, we're so appreciative to Re-Inc for supporting us and allowing us to share our organization with such a wide variety of people. So thank you again.
Thank you. We're so inspired by your work. Well, it was just great to see you. And I'll connect with you soon. Yeah.
Yep. Look forward to
Thanks so
connecting.
much.
Thank you. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everyone.